Hey, everybody, this is Jeremy, your host with the Humble Beginnings, Great Expectations podcast. We are in downtown Tampa at the Habitat for Humanity, Hillsborough County headquarters. We're talking to the Chief Development Officer today about the mission of the organization, a little bit more insight about his journey. Thank you for subscribing. Follow me.
Be humble. Be humble. Sit down. Sit down. Be humble. Be humble. Sit down. Sit down. Be humble. Be humble. Sit down. Sit down. Be humble. Be humble. Sit down.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Humble Beginnings, Great Expectations. I'm your host, Jeremy Johnson. I run a real estate company called 7J Commercial Finance and Consulting, and this is a real estate story. But on the more charitable, philanthropic side of things, we are here with the Chief Development Officer of Habitat for Humanity, Richard Rogers. Richard, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Jeremy.
Thank you for your time today. I appreciate you giving us the opportunity to get a little bit of piece of your brain and your experience in the affordable housing industry here in Tampa. And to get right into it, man, we want to get a good piece of understanding of how you got into this role, what led you to the affordable housing industry here, and kind of what drives your passion behind it. So humble beginnings, what led you into this role here with affordable housing?
Well, I appreciate that. My father was a teacher. My mother was a nurse. So I've always had a passion for helping families and children in need. When I graduated college at the University of Central Florida, I started working or volunteering with nonprofits. And originally, I worked with the Boys and Girls Club, Big Brothers Big Sisters, and Eckerd Connects. And after that, I started working in the nonprofit industry. I really loved helping children and families. And I initially started working in elementary schools, helping kids with behavioral issues and teaching social skills to them. Really got a passion for that and continued to expand my growth in helping other families in the Brevard County area in Florida. Helped start new programs based on, I was in a lot of community collaboratives and found out there was needs and services that weren't being met. And I helped start up several programs to help fill those needs and help more children and families, and got a lot of recognition in those aspects. I was a top 3 finalist for the Community Volunteer Services Award by Florida Today newspaper, or Citizen of the Year. And then won the 4 under 40 for the work I was doing there. Then I moved over to Tampa, more of the Clearwater area, to help expand my services because the company I was working for was based out of Clearwater, and really oversaw programs across Central and North Florida. And at that time, I started learning more about Habitat for Humanity and learned that there was a big need in affordable housing that wasn't being met here. And I started talking with the CEO here and the COO. And they felt that they really needed somebody who could corral the community together to provide more funding and more support and volunteer services. And they asked me to join the organization, and I accepted, and I loved it. Habitat for Humanity is an amazing organization. It has an amazing brand that everybody knows, and it has an amazing service to fill the needs of people in our community.
That's a fact. I mean, as a very young kid, my family definitely, we were serial renters. We moved around a lot, and I remember seeing, commercials for Habitat for Humanity and thinking, wow, that would be great if we were, a recipient of one of those houses. Just dreaming as a kid. So the brand has just long legs and longevity, and it's crazy that I'm here interviewing with you today. So again, I'm honored, and I appreciate the opportunity. If someone were to meet you at a coffee shop and ask what you do, how would you explain your role as a Chief Development Officer?
My role is to oversee the volunteer department, the fundraising department, and the marketing department for Habitat for Humanity in Hillsborough County. We want to gather the community together and build more homes for families in need of affordable housing. In addition, we also do a repair program that helps repair homes, especially after the hurricanes, and a lot of them are damaged and they needed new roofs, or people with disabilities needed wheelchair access ramps. We go and take teams of volunteers and help build those things. Gathering community is an important part of Habitat for Humanity. It's all about bringing people together to build homes, communities, and hope. And that's what we're about.
100%. What does their mission mean to you personally?
It's personally a wonderful mission. The mission is bringing God's love into action to bring people together to build homes, community, and hope. And that's personal to me because I'm a Christian and I believe in helping others. And that's kind of the passion that I've always been raised to do and something I've always wanted to do. And throughout my lifetime, it's always been about helping others in ways, people that need it most. So this mission really fulfills my heart and everything that I want to do in life.
Man, it's tailor made for your personality and who you are. It's, it really speaks when you talk about your experience and coming up. Just the role. It really meshes very well, and it comes out very authentic. So obviously, it's something that it impacts you personally, and it just comes out very well. So I just wanted to let you know that. I don't know if everyone's before.
Appreciate it.
Was there a moment or a project that really solidified your passion for doing this?
There's been more than one,
Yeah.
so many of them. I'll tell you about a recent story. We had a family who applied for our program, and the guy's name is Frank. He was a single father, and he applied to the program because he was having a situation where his 13-year-old daughter at the time developed an autoimmune disease and became paraplegic. And he was living in a third floor apartment. And when his daughter became paraplegic, he had a girlfriend who was living with him and helping the family. The 13-year-old was a beautiful girl who walked perfectly, was enjoying life, going to school, having a good time, very active. And all of a sudden she became paraplegic within months. And when they started having to deal with those issues, the girlfriend of the father of Frank left him and he had to take care of his daughter all by himself. And the third floor apartment, he couldn't afford anything else besides that third floor apartment as a studio apartment. And with her not being able to walk, he had to carry her up and down the stairs of the third floor every day for 3 years. And even within the apartment, she had a wheelchair, but it couldn't fit inside the front door of the apartment. So they couldn't even get it into the apartment. So he'd carry her around inside the apartment as well as up and down the stairs. And when he applied to the Habitat program, he said, this is the only thing I couldn't afford anything else. And could you help? So we ended up building a home for him, first floor, so he didn't have to carry up and down stairs every day. But we even made everything ADA compliant, so there was 0-degree entry. We put structures inside the ceiling so that he could have a lift structure in the house and load all the cabinets and countertops so that way she could reach everything. And at the home dedication, when he finally received his home, he was in tears, just saying, you don't know how much is going to change my life. It's been such a struggle for the past 3 years. I didn't know how I was going to do it. And he was just crying pretty much on my shoulder saying that this means so much to him. That's what this is all about. That's what I do. And I have countless stories like that of families that just were in dire situations and who you helped change their lives.
It's emotionally taxing, what you do. How do you stay focused and locked into the actual work when, you have so much of other people's emotions that you can't help but be human and get emotionally involved with these situations and these people? How do you stay focused on the work?
That is a very important thing because we get a lot of families. Since January 1st, we've had about 1,800 applicants apply for the Habitat for Humanity program. We cannot help that many. We wish we could, but we cannot help that many people. So we do have a process that really filters them into the ones that can be successful in this program. We don't give away the homes. That wouldn't be sustainable for the organization if we did so. We're a hand up, not a handout. So they have to pay an affordable mortgage with us. And that we ensure that mortgage is no more than 30% of their income, so it becomes affordable for them. But it's not a giveaway. The money that they pay helps us build more homes for more families. So we have to stay focused on that mission of sustainability, because if we try to help everybody, that's not a sustainable process, and we won't last long if we did that. So we try to focus on the ones that will be successful, that will also help pay into the pot to help more families and keep this organization really growing. Since we've started, Habitat for Humanity has served over 63 million people around the world. That's because the model works so well in selecting those who need affordable housing, but can also help us sustain it to continue to help more people as well.
100%. And it's a replicated model. Are you in the 50 states? It's a national organization that you can, literally go to any city in any state in the country and you'll see this, pipeline of need. So there's not a lack of work for what you need to do. So
no, Habitat for Humanity is in all 50 states throughout the United States and in 70 countries around the world. So yes, we have our footprint around the globe, and we want to make a difference everywhere we can.
Absolutely. Let's bring it home a little bit. Let's walk us through a typical day in the life of Richard Rogers, the CDO of Habitat Hillsborough.
A typical day is really me not being in the office as much as I can and going out to the community and gathering support from everybody and anybody that I can possibly get. I try to focus on really meeting the leaders of the Hillsborough County community and getting to know them real on a personal level, and getting them and their companies, if they're owner of a company or a leader of a company, getting their employees involved. And that can be in multiple ways. That could be volunteering to help build homes with us for families. That could be financially supporting us through their company initiatives, or individual initiatives. A lot of individuals give to us as well. Also, finding out if there's needs within their companies. A lot of these companies have families in need of affordable housing that we can help provide that for them as well. So it's a partnership, but really getting out there in the community, getting to know all the leaders and the people in the community, and seeing where they can fit into our mission and get them involved.
I mean, you're a certified fundraising expert. I've seen that designation. I had to do some research on that. So fundraising is a big part of what you do. What's the biggest, misunderstanding of fundraising that most people don't kind of understand?
Most people think I'm just asking them for money, just to give, but it's really an investment. And what I try to work with people is find out what are their goals in life and what would make them happy as a person, and what they're giving back to the world, or what their goals are within the world, and helping match our needs and their desires. A lot of people like to invest in something that they believe in and it fulfills their heart. And if I can help make that match, then it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah. Most people think I'm just giving money away. It's never going to come back to me. But really, it's a giver's gain mentality, and that you do invest and it does come back to you. Maybe not, dollar for dollar in a monetary sense, but in terms of, giving back to a rightful cause, and the karma reward that you receive back is huge.
And for some people, it is dollar for dollar. We have a community contribution tax credit program from the state of Florida that if a company sponsors a full home with Habitat, it's usually between like $140,000 to $160,000, and that company sponsors a full home with us. They get all the recognition and marketing benefits of a full home sponsor. We put a big site sign out in front of the home. They get to hand the keys to the homeowner during the dedication and get a lot of recognition. We do press releases and everything. But then the state of Florida turns around and cuts a check back to that company for the entire amount of the donation, which is a wonderful, amazing program. And now they get all the marketing benefits from a company that they would have spent on marketing. And instead of paying the state the taxes that they would have paid, it ends up going to Habitat for a good cause. So it's a wonderful program. And if anybody wants to learn more about that, just contact me and I give you all the details. But it's an amazing program that would be dollar for dollar for return. And actually they get all the marketing benefits that they would have spent. So it's really a benefit to them.
The Community Contribution Tax Credit Program, exclusively for Habitat, it's worth mentioning again. And why would big businesses want to take advantage of this type of, tax credit?
Most businesses have a social responsibility initiative. And if it aligns with affordable housing, this is a great opportunity for them to fulfill their own initiatives. They can get their employees involved because they can come volunteer with Habitat, and we oversee making sure that they're safe and they're trained in what they're doing, and they can make a physical impact in the community that will be lifelong. They can see a home that they've actually built. And for most companies that really want team building and team bonding of their employees, this is a great way for them to get that bonding as well as make an impact in the community that is life-changing for them and the people that they're helping. So a lot of companies really love volunteering with Habitat for that purpose. And with the Community Contribution Tax Credit Program, they can get that volunteering, they can get the marketing benefits of being a sponsor of Habitat, and in turn, it really doesn't cost them anything.
And get the money back. Man, it's like kill 3 birds with 1 stone.
Exactly.
So that being said, how do you go about building, relationships with these donors in an authentic and genuine way that impacts them and gives them the feel of knowing that money is going to come back to them, 2, 3-fold?
We have wonderful partners in the community. And as far as authenticity, a lot of them really want to give back. We're very close to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Brian Ford's the COO. And if anybody knows him, he's the most authentic person that you'll ever meet. always caring and always has a smile and responds. When I email him, he responds back within 5 minutes. You see the authenticity in people, you build that connection with them, and that makes all the difference, because those type of people really want to build their community. The Bucks are so active in the community, and those are the type of people that Habitat likes to partner with. We want to be together in the community and really building something special. They want to be in the community and build something special. So it's a great merge of our values, and those are the type of people that we focus on when we're looking at who we want to fundraise with.
Absolutely. Part of our fundraising committee build events was building with the Tampa Bay Bucks. I think we've done that for a couple of years now, and I had the opportunity to bring my kids out and meet some of the players, and that was an amazing experience. It keeps giving back in terms of my kids seeing that experience, understanding that the families that received the homes were so grateful to have these important big guys out there working on their house for them, and really showed them the gratitude and how no matter how big you are, giving back really means something in a tangible way. And I think that's why this organization is so important, and again, everywhere, around the globe. Can you share a full circle moment to where, something that, you did, or a home dedication that you gave, really worked in a tangible way?
There's so many of them. Like I said before, with Frank and his home. I was growing up, I had 6 people in my family. Sometimes there's points where we were living in a hotel for a year, trying to find housing for ourselves. And I know how difficult it is being in a crowded place with 6 kids, 2 parents,
Yeah.
8 people in a hotel room. And there was technically 2 beds and a couch that we were living in for a full year. That was a difficult year for us. And I can see how that impacts some of the families that come to us. We had another mother, or grandmother, I should say, who had 13 kids in her house. She ended up adopting, she was a foster mom, and she already had a bunch of kids that she was fostering. And then her daughter had an issue, and she ended up taking in all her grandkids, and she ended up having 13 kids in her home. And she ended up sleeping on the floor for a year or 2. So that way her kids could have a bed, her grandkids could have a bed. I understood that because that's what we did for the time when I was young. It's not an easy time. And so when we built a Habitat home for her, we built a big 7-bedroom home so that way, and they each could have their own bed. And she was crying about how much impact that made in her life. And now she can actually, her back won't hurt as much sleeping on the floor. I can understand that. So that's a full circle moment for me, is seeing kind of that kind of impact we have on families.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you lead and inspire your team to stay locked into the mission of Habitat, especially when things, may not work the way you want them to in terms of a relationship with a donor or a partner? How do you keep them focused on the mission?
It's not hard to keep them focused. I think when we hire, I'm always looking for people whose passion is serving the community, and that's in their heart and in their values. And all of our team expresses that. As much as I want to keep them motivated to work, that's not a hard thing to do because they are motivated. Most of our team is working well after hours on weekends every week, really doing everything they can to impact our mission and grow it to help more families. So as much as I'd like to take credit for keeping them motivated and doing good work, I think it's within their hearts and values to do that as well.
Yeah, I can attest to that, in that just being engaged with your organization. I've met so many people that share the same philanthropic mantra, if you will. It's very aligned with my own goals and things that I believe in, and it's so much more easier to work with people that share your common goal and vision. And so anyone out there that, if you're looking to get locked in or engaged in a certain type of community contribution or, effort, go ahead and engage yourself in those organizations, and you'll be surprised how many people that you meet that may be strangers when you first get there, but eventually your common goals and things that you want to achieve for that community give back really just set you in tune with one another, and you end up becoming friends and maybe partners, and you end up building a business or doing something great for the community. So a great way to get common people and build a team. How important is team?
Oh, it's so important. The people you surround yourself with
Yeah.
really shows who you are as a person. So I try to surround myself with great people. You particularly, you got involved with us 9 years ago, I think, with Habitat.
2019.
And you came back. I remember I was sitting in this conference room,
Yep.
and you said, I just want to do something great for the community. I wasn't sure if it was going to be a one-time thing,
Yeah.
but you've been around doing so much for Habitat for the past 9 years. You're the type of person that we want to get involved with, and you do things not just with Habitat, but with other nonprofits throughout the community. And you always have a heart for really giving back. And I think that's so important. So I appreciate our friendship and everything that we've built together, because you've helped grow Habitat for Humanity as well with all the different initiatives that you've helped start within our organization. And I consider you a friend, personally, you and your kids and all the great things that you guys like to do together. So I really appreciate those kind of bonds.
Absolutely. All day, every day. And I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be here for a while. What does success look like for your development efforts in the next, few years, in your opinion?
Success is helping to build more homes and help more families.
Right.
So our goal right now is to help as many families within the community that we possibly can. There's a huge need out there. As we all know, housing costs are through the roof. And for a family that doesn't currently have a home, trying to attain a home ownership is very difficult at this time. So we really need to build more houses, repair more homes for those who have houses, to help continue to keep housing affordable for families in need. So for us, our goals is to, like I said, just build as many homes as we can. And the more fundraising that we get, the more community support with volunteers that we get, really helps us to grow and build more and more homes.
Now, are there any innovations or shifts in strategy that you're excited about?
There's a lot of innovation. So we meet all the time with builders and construction companies or suppliers who have a lot of innovative things. And we are always looking at how can we do things differently.
Yeah.
We just met with somebody who, instead of building concrete homes, there's some new innovations with different types of blocks that almost like Lego blocks to build homes. For us, the key is to make sure that they are sustainable for the homeowners. So we have hurricanes, so you want to make sure that they are hurricane category sustainable. So we make sure that everything's category 3 or 4 sustainable for hurricanes. But there are some materials that help build homes cheaper and more efficiently and quicker, but they are still weather resistant for hurricanes. So we're looking into those kind of new innovative types of building methods and seeing if they would work for us. We've built some modular homes just recently for veterans that go up a lot quicker and also are very sustainable for the community and a lot cheaper for the veterans who need more housing affordability. And we're in the process right now of building 2 of those modular homes.
Wow.
So yeah, we're always looking for new innovative ways to help families and help make it more cost effective, as long as it is sustainable and safe for those families.
I love that. I love that. 2 things to piggyback on that. Aquafence, who is a company that builds the barriers for, storm surge that we see a lot of here in the Tampa Bay area. They put a barrier around Tampa General just last year with Hurricane Milton and Helena when they hit, and they had a huge impact. I think the entire structure stayed dry. So that's, a new innovation. And then modular homes, when it comes to the financing in the mortgage industry, which I'm a part of, they're treated just like a single family residence. So, just because it's modular and it kind of sounds like a manufactured home or something different, when it comes to financing, the banks look at it just like a regular single family dwelling and home. So a modular home, just so you know, it's pretty much a pre-built home, literally pre-built in a factory and then taken to a location and put on a permanent foundation. And there's nothing different compared to a single family residence. So that's great to hear that. How does Habitat collaborate with other organizations, and or the public sector to, help expand the mission?
We partner with a lot of different organizations throughout the community. We do, in addition to building homes and repairing homes, we also do a lot of financial education for families. All of our homeowners have to do 12 homeownership courses with us, which teaches everything from financial literacy, budgeting, home maintenance, and sustainability for them in their home. And we use partners to administer those trainings. So we work with Solita's House to do some of the financial education. We work with a lot of banks to do some financial education and budgeting trainings. And then we also have some internship programs and apprenticeship programs for people that want to get into construction and want to learn. And we have partnerships with CDC of Tampa and Rebuilding Together Tampa Bay for different opportunities like that, where they can do some training in construction as well, and then do some practical internships with us. where they get hands-on experience building, and they can get employed in the construction industry after doing that
Wow.
because they have that hands-on experience.
That's great. What do you think makes this community so special when it comes to affordable housing? This is the Tampa, Hillsborough County community in particular.
Well, the need is definitely there.
You're right.
In Florida, there was just a data came out a little bit ago from Realtor.com that Florida is the 12th least affordable state in the nation for housing based on the housing costs versus the wages. And then in Hillsborough County particularly, we're significantly below the state average in home ownership rates. So there's a huge need, and we have a lot of work to do here in Hillsborough County.
What's one of the toughest challenges you've faced? And that probably goes hand in hand with the demand, but the largest, biggest challenge that you faced in this role, and how are you overcoming it?
The biggest challenge is the housing costs.
Right.
Since the pandemic happened, construction costs have gone through the roof. Supplies and materials, the tariffs didn't help because now they're continuing to going up. Housing costs are becoming very, very unaffordable for construction. And the more those housing costs go up, the harder it is to actually build more homes for families. When I started 9 years ago, there was a margin where we could actually build a home and turn around and have it as an affordable mortgage for families. And there was a little bit of margin there that we could use to build more homes.
Right.
Now there is no margin. We're underwater in building homes for families, and we have to fundraise the difference for that. So for us, before we used those fundraising opportunities to help us grow and build more homes quicker, now we're pretty much utilizing a lot of our fundraising dollars to build the homes we're currently trying to build, to help make up that gap, as opposed to using mostly for growth. Really, until the housing costs go down, we just have to fundraise more and get more community support. So the need is greater for us.
Yeah, more money. We need more money. Fundraising is everything. So a big part of the organization being able to accomplish its goals. Between the emotional aspects and the, analytical, actual more concrete work aspects of the job, what's more taxing on you personally?
On me?
Yes.
I won't call it taxing. You can look at it as taxing. There's a lot of emotional investment into this job, but I don't look at it as a taxing way. I really look at it as there's a need there that I want to fulfill. And the more I can fulfill it, the more happy I am as a person, the more fulfilled I am as a person. So I don't look at it as so much as taxing. When I see the need there, it just inspires me to try to do more and more.
Okay, I love that. I see a challenge. I want to go through it. Let's
Exactly.
go. Let's go. How do you relax?
Play a lot with my kids.
Okay.
My kids are both into football, so when I have time to relax and want to relax, I'm usually spending time with them, mostly playing football with them, throwing out in the field and having a good time with my boys.
I love that. I love that. When you think about the future of affordable housing in Hillsborough County, what gives you hope?
There's a lot of hope because there's so many good people in Hillsborough County. And we have a lot of great partners and people who are invested in making this community great. And I see that there's a lot of innovation and a lot of thought that goes into the process of how are we going to build Hillsborough County and grow it in a sustainable way. And we have a lot of great leaders throughout this community. And I see a lot of hope in us being able to develop Hillsborough County in a way that will be great for the economy, great for companies to grow and start new businesses, great for innovation, but also great for affordability for homeowners once we get everything going the way we want it to.
Absolutely. We're definitely growing, great city. One of the best, in my opinion. And we're lucky to have it and be able to have those challenges to be able to rise to the occasion and meet them. For listeners, viewers who feel inspired, what's one thing they can do to support your mission?
You can go to our website at www.habitathillsborough.org and look at ways to get involved. There's volunteering opportunities there. There's company volunteering if you want to do a group volunteering opportunity. There's fundraising opportunities if you want to donate or if you want to get involved in a fundraising event. We have tons of theme builds, whether it's our CEO build, our women's build, our veterans build, our faith build, and our real estate build. There's lots of different events that you can get involved in part of. We also have a fishing tournament and a golf tournament annually. So there's lots of different ways to get involved with Habitat. You just got to find one that meets your desires and we'll make it happen.
Holla at your boy. I got to find a way to get you into one of them. Just let me know. Great expectations. What do you see as the future for Habitat? What do you expect? What do you want? Is there anything that you see as, coming on the horizon that you would like to see in the affordable housing space here in Tampa?
Yeah, we do a lot of advocacy for affordable housing. So our expectations is to get the community involved and advocate on our behalf, to really make sure that our leaders through local, state, and federal are really ensuring that affordable housing is a key priority of theirs. We want to help build more homes for more families, and the community support is key to that. So my expectations is that the whole community comes together and really gets behind affordable housing.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Richard Rogers, Habitat for Humanity, Hillsborough County. That's a wrap. Appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you, Jeremy.